Going Commando with Angela and Dana is brought to you by finduniquelyyou.com.
Everyone has a story. I have a story. You have a story. We all have a story. As I see it, you have three choices. Allow your story to define you, use it to excuse you, or utilize it as a method to empower you. It's your life. You have the power. You choose. Rewrite your story on finduniquelyyou.com. We're shedding our masks and breaking down walls. Hell, we may even drop our drawers. That's right. We're going commando with Angela and Dana.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Going Commando. This week, we have a super special guest. I'm going to introduce her in a second, but I am Angela DeMarco, Dana Sardano here. And, we're here Going Commando to bring our stories of authenticity and, like life and just what we can riff on together. We have no agenda today, which is super, super, super fun. So I'd like to introduce our very, very, very special guest. This beautiful woman eating ice cream, either to my left or right, not sure where it's going to be in the editing yet, she had me at hello. We found each other through LinkedIn.
Dork! Sorry, go
on. I'm doing my intro, you asshole.
Sorry. Go on.
She did, though. Oh my God. She's such a
You too.
Do you see she's getting jealous? Do you see she's jealous right now? Dana's having a little like, meh.
I love you. I love you both.
Me! I'm sorry. Cut. She had you at hello.
Dana, you're special too, okay?
We're all special fuckers. All right.
Okay. So Anja and I found each other through LinkedIn. I don't even know how or where, but it's just, when you can... Yeah, I'm trying to be more visible on LinkedIn, more to connect with people, find our people. And I guess just commenting on each other's stuff, we realized like that there was a synergy and we were like, we have to meet. And then we were like, oh my God, there's so much. So Anja Žibert, did I say it correct?
Yay, you got it right. Yay.
So welcome to Going Commando with Angela and Dana. We're so happy you're here with us.
Thank you, Queens. By the way, for everybody who's watching, I was allowed to eat ice cream today. They were like, just bring something that you will look silly, and unusual. And I was like, I'm going to bring ice cream.
What flavor are you having?
It's a good one. I mean, it's a mix between vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate, but it's like Slovenian ice cream. So it's like supporting locally, but I think it's like the whole company, it's owned by French people, but anyway, it's ice cream. It's amazing and I love it. So
it looks great. Well, Dana and I are having what we call our diarrhea makers.
Yeah. Or the shit shake, depending on,
the shit shake.
Oh, can I open with just a really quick little story?
Yeah.
So I was obviously drinking shit shake yesterday too, and I brought Nala to get her ID. She's going into high school, so to get her freshman ID before school starts. And I was like, we were waiting. We were like a few minutes early, and it started. My stomach started. Like I should always I forget. I drink it, and then I go places, and then I'm like that scene from Dumb and Dumber. I'm like, oh my God, So I'm like singing to her in the car on the way home. I'm like, poopy cramps, mommy's got poopy cramps. So I was kind of like, and I'm singing this the whole way, and Nala's just sitting there, she's going to be 14, and she's just like, oh, Jesus Christ, right? So I'm like, poopy cramps. So I'm like, everybody now, and then all of a sudden, she's like, poopy cramps. And I was like, she's mine. She's really
so
mine. So yes.
Can I add something to this story? Like years ago when I lived in UK, I decided to have this master cleanse. And I was like drinking, I think it was like during the night. I mean, before I went to bed, it was like a detox tea or something, or like digestion tea or something. And in the morning, salt water. And like in between some weird stuff. Anyway, that was really, really the period that you couldn't sneeze or you couldn't cough. So it's like so difficult to control. It's like no way. If somebody who was doing that like sneezed or coughed, bad experience. So whoever is looking, for this master cleans and stuff like that, please be aware, that you have to have like the whole story in your mind. It's not just a result.
One time I bought a tea, just because we're on the topic, because I'm going to add to my story. I bought a tea, and it was like digestive detox tea. And I'm like, okay. So I always have my tea at night, not thinking anything of it, because I've had detox tea before. The next day at work, I'm like, what is going on? I got to go home. I'm sick. So bad. So good, but so bad.
Yeah.
All right. We are human beings, so all this is normal.
Of course.
Like professionally or not professionally. So
I was online with Nala when we were waiting, and there were like people all around and cops and stuff. And I'm like whispering to her, I'm like, my butthole. I'm like, my butthole. I'm like, I can't clench it any tighter. I think we've beat that one to death.
So, all right, let's wash away the poop. Okay. So I'm in New York. Dana's in Florida. And Anja is in Slovenia. Slovenia. So it's super, super cool because we're just, all over the world and connecting with people. And it's just amazing. So I think, Dana, you wanted to kind of kick off the conversation with the topic.
Yeah, I got to tell you, when we talked about doing this, we're like, let's just do it and see what happens. But a few days ago, Anja, you posted on LinkedIn a post that resonated so loudly with me. It was you talked about how the world is changing. A lot of people could look at the world and be like, oh my God, everything is crash and burning and everything is a shit show. And if I'm being honest, it doesn't please me because I don't want to see people suffer. But I do understand that things have to fall to the ground before they can be lifted up, right? They need to be destroyed before they can be recreated. So I kind of smile because I know on the other side, the work we're doing is valuable. So what you were saying was many people don't even realize what is happening. But they do notice that, I'm growing out of this relationship. I'm growing. You were specific on LinkedIn, growing out of my job, growing out. And you pointed, you made a point about employers and how employers need to be aware of this and they need to be more, cultivating that culture in their company with the people, recognizing that people are changing. And rather than everybody jumping ship to something else, changing with the times. And I want to talk more about that. I want to hear your take on that because Angela and I are all over that shit. So I want to hear what you have to say about that.
Yeah. It's, everything what I write, it's like based on my personal experience and based on personal experience of clients that I'm working with. Because on one side, I'm supporting people who are feeling, I need to change, especially like in their career, or I want to change the job, or I want to start my own business, or, whatever, like empowering people. Okay. And on the other side is like, I'm working with companies because usually I really like to work with startups because it's just at the beginning, not with corporation. When you come in, it's like, now change the culture. You cannot do that, in really, really short time. You can, but it's a process and there's so many more people involved. So basically what I really like to do, is like to just raise this awareness, or like expand the awareness of what we are doing here and like what is happening. And basically, you said like, oh yeah, I was focusing on employers and, to educate that what is happening with the teams or like their people. But the thing is, like, even employers are human beings, they are going through the process. So it's basically now I'm having a lot of meetings with leaders, with CEOs. And it's like, ooh, after 25 years of career or some position or whatever, now I feel I want to have a change. Like I feel I want to just open this small hotel in somewhere, like on some small island, or, I just want to start a dance studio, whatever. Like, and I was like, yeah, that's possible. That's absolutely possible, because we are energetic beings with unlimited power to create. So basically, when we start talking on this level, it's completely different, like recruitment and leadership, and I would say like team inspiration, it's completely different than on this surface level. So I really, really see, and in last 3 weeks, I've been talking to hundreds, like even, I'm not gonna say hundreds, but more than 100 people, that they were telling me the same. And they all started, like everything started when they started working on themselves, or they saw a podcast, or they read a book, or something happened, like something in their personal life happened, and it triggered a change, a transformation. I call it spiritual awakening, because I went through spiritual awakening by myself. And it was brutal. It was not fun. It was not fun, It's really, but at that time when my process started, I was working in a recruitment agency. And when I saw that, like when I felt energies, and when I saw all this stuff, and like I saw how people, are dealing with stuff, that because they were dealing it with unlimited awareness.
Yeah.
And, if they would expand awareness and see like this unlimited space of solutions, it would be so much different for companies, because they would save money and time, because they would get matches, and also on the other side, people, because they would be aligned with their values and their wishes. So, is there anything else to add?
No, I'm just, I know, I'm smiling the way I am because I'm loving what you're saying and reading Angela's mind at the same time. And everything you're saying, not only yes, but the whole idea of, that spiritual awakening, A, it sucks, and B, you start to realize that there's something else, and some of us have
something more.
Yes. Yeah. And some of us have the courage to go, you know what, regardless of the consequence, I have to do this. I can't do anything else. And others don't have the support system, or are fearful that it's the devil they know. Let me stay where I am, because out there, I don't know if I can trust it or I have faith in it. And what you're doing, and what we're doing as well in our own way, is showing the way by being the way, but showing people that you can, and nobody dies. You know what I mean? You can do this. But Angela, I want to hear your take, because I saw when your eyes lit up.
Like the whole time, right?
Mommy.
No, Anja, I just love it. And I love that there's that you're normalizing spirituality in a professional setting, because that's the linchpin right there. Like that's the thing that's missing in like everyone knows the stuff is happening, whether it's the president of the company or the mailroom, all equally, all humans, they're all going through their own stuff. And to kind of like help them voice that in the corporate setting, right? In the business setting. And how do you take somebody who's like, okay, this isn't exactly like, I'm good at this job, I'm done with this job, what do I do? How do you like take the employer, like give them the courage to go to their employer, be like, I am itching to do something else. Is there something here that can satisfy the itch for me? Like how can we shift the jobs and create the cultures inside the organization so that the people stay with what they're comfortable, the devil they know, but not make it the devil, make it heaven on earth, basically, for them. How do you give them those opportunities? And I think that the leaders need to have had that process. They've had to have seen the thing going through. Like we could say, if someone on our team came to us and was like, listen, I love working with you guys, but I am feeling the need to go blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, let's brainstorm. Let's create that for you here. How can we help support you so that you feel satisfied? So yeah, so my brain is going crazy, but I was that person. I was a director of marketing for a manufacturing company. I lost a baby. I went on a spiritual expedition because I had to figure out there had to be a reason, right? There had to be a reason to everything. And then I came up with an idea for a business because it was what I needed at the time, but I'm still working the full-time job. And then finally, like the job stayed the same and I changed so much I couldn't stay in the job. And it was like, no matter the consequences, I can't do this anymore because it was crushing me. It was like and then when I was very close to my employer. Like I loved him. He was awesome. There was a great company to work for, but I was just I just didn't fit that culture anymore, you know? And when I was like, listen, I have to go start this business. And they were like, well, we can't begrudge you that. And they're like, is there anything we could do to get you to stay? And I'm like, no. And there wouldn't have been anything. So I get that. And I get people get to that position, but I would love to create a world where people can feel that they have the room to expand and grow, not only in their personal lives. Like when you're with a partner, that partner should be able to expand and grow with you and they have their own path, but also with your work so that every part of your life can feel fulfilling. You know, and that's so I just yeah.
That's the point, because the thing is that how I see it now today in companies is like when we are recruiting, when people are going to different, like they are applying to different jobs and stuff. Okay, everything is so on surface, it's all about the job, yeah? And somehow it's about the team and culture, but the culture is not, I call it like it has to be the energy, like the energy behind the culture, not the culture itself. Right. Anyway, but the thing is that every single company owner, CEO, leader, whatever, needs to be aware that this is a human being which is fluid, which is like expanding. We are here to expand. We are here to grow. So he or she cannot expect from a person, that it will not grow because it's a natural process. Okay. Yes. So he or she cannot expect, oh, you will be here for 10 years or even 2 years or whatever. So when companies will have this awareness about the spiritual growth, about the personal growth, about, the professional growth, and they exchange each other's user manuals in the beginning,
Yeah, totally.
It's so much easier.
Yeah.
It's so much easier. It's like because it's like, and then I don't know, I'm a huge believer, I'm a huge supporter, like huge advocate of heart energy, because I'm a heart math also trainer. And now recently, I got involved, like I came across human design. And human design is such an incredible tool. Like, so it's very, very complicated, very there's a lot of stuff, but it can also be simple, like based on like just energy type and stuff. So if somebody would come in, to the company, and you could just say, okay, are you a generator? That means that your level of energy is unlimited, or are you a projector, that you have limited energy level, but you are working in a certain way. Like it could be so much easier, to put these people into like places that they belong and they would be fulfilled. And also like when you are, assembling teams and stuff. So there's so much stuff going on, but the most important thing is that when they start talking, they need to exchange each other user manuals, which is, okay, my expectations are, okay, my expectations are, where do we, where are we meeting? Like, where's the middle? And this is what I'm doing, because people, they don't want to talk about that, because people, they want to be, oh, I want you to like me because I want to have, good paycheck or whatever. And, oh, I want you to like me because I need a solution for something that we need to do. It's like, sorry about that, but that's bullshit. That's such a bullshit, And I saw so many failed stories, and they're like both, angry and resentful. And I'm like, oh, don't judge, don't judge. Like you just go into this neutral place, like your solution, I need a solution. Okay. You are the employer who can offer me like I would say like psychologically safe space for me to grow personally, grow spiritually, and grow professionally. I don't know what's going to happen, but I can tell you when energies are aligned and I'm going to leave, somebody else will come because that's a universal law.
Yeah. I had someone asked me what branding and culture have to do with one another because branding is my background. And I'm going to tell a story about one of my one of the biggest compliments that I've gotten, the proof points of like where you're going. So we did a rebrand for this physical therapy practice called Performance in New York. They had some practices in New York and Connecticut, some offices. And so we did a rebrand and we did a unification and we did like not just the visual, but we did like their brand DNA. So their core values, their vision, their mission. And then we did a big party with integrating and we threw prizes away for people who remembered stuff. And the core values were very, very simple. It was, if I can remember, because this is like 10 years ago, we sweat the small stuff. We are both teachers and scholars. And I forget the third one. But anyway, they were that simple, right? And this is ingrained in everything. And about 6 months after we did the rebrand, we were putting some like decal quotes on the walls or doing something with the office. The owner came to us and he was like, I have to tell you how much the work that you guys did helped me. He was like, when I'm interviewing people, I ask them about my core values. Like I say, these are our core values. Do you align with them? And that is like literally the core values were exemplified in the culture. He always paid for extra learning for the staff. Like he was always getting them on. They always had education opportunities. They really did sweat the small stuff down to like the pen that they used to make sure that everything was like clean and great experience. And they were just like, it was like understanding their positioning statement, understanding their vision, their mission, and everybody marching to that beat. It helped everybody in the culture feel, okay, I belong here. Yeah. This is the place where I belong, or not, right? Or this is uncomfortable. And then when you bring in new people, not only am I a physical therapist with all of this experience and blah, 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 and I could fill that role, I love that you guys have an education program for us. I love that you sweat the small stuff. Yes, I align with you. And it's like, it's so, so, so important. So that's why Dana and I have this program called Core to Credo. And it's for the individuals where Dana does the empowerment from the inside out. And we do from the credo, the big, the vision, the mission, the values. Does everybody fit under this? Like, let's redefine it, make sure it's tied up with a nice bow that people can remember it and you're not sticking it on a wall somewhere. And then let's help everybody integrate it and embody it. And then that is how branding and culture and heart and empowerment and everybody can thrive in an environment, whether it's 10 people or hundreds across the world.
Yeah.
That's my soapbox.
And Anja, everything that you were, there it is. Done. But everything that you were saying, Anja, when you were talking about the employer and the employee or the soon-to-be employee, this one just wants the problem to be solved and this one just wants to be liked and to make money or whatever. And there's this fear, the underlying fear. At the end of the day, the fear is, I'm not going to get my needs met. Right. I'm not going to be liked. I'm not going to get a paycheck. I'm not going to have my problem solved. And when in Core to Credo, when we're dealing with, the employer, the employees, when we're dealing with the company, if each individual, every single one, from the powerhouse to the one that just sits in the corner and counts beans, every single one of them learns how to get their needs met in their own way, setting boundaries, communication, whatever it is, their own awareness, their own willingness. I mean, I could go through all the recommandments, but when everybody individually has the ability to do that, and then the credo, the culture is clear, the understanding of the environment is clear, and every one of those people, because they're empowered enough to say, I fit into this or I don't fit into this, there's this beautiful harmony. And you had me thinking, if they just come to the table with their needs. I think about relationships. I think about, you go on a first date. All you want to do is be liked. All you want to do maybe is get some, but you have something that you want out of that. So we come in and we pretend like we're something we're not. Online dating. The guy takes his hat off. He's bald, right? The girl stands up from the waist down. She's 4 times the size as she says she was. It's not true. It's inauthentic. And what we're trying to do in everything we do is bring back the power and the beauty of authenticity in every way. We opened the show talking about diarrhea because it's funny. It's funny. What am I trying to prove? It's normal. It's funny. I remember years ago, I remember in the early 2000s, I used to teach.
It's annoying, but
it's life. It's life. I was teaching 9th and 10th graders for most of my career. And I remember going back to I think it was 2003 when Angelina Jolie was really, really big. And the kids would come in and they would talk about the stars. The stars. Everybody's on a pedestal. The stars. And I'm like, Angelina Jolie poops. She may not talk about it, but she's one of us. She eats a bad taco. She's in there for a while. She has to light a candle. We all do. And when we embrace this about ourselves, I know, Angela, I know I'm off the rails. But when we embrace this about ourselves and we better connect with one another and go to that first date and say, oh my God, my husband, the first date, he was like, okay, I used to live in a haunted house. I married a woman who turned out to be a lesbian. I had a nervous breakdown. I saved the guy on the side of the road who got into an accident and almost died. And I'm like, okay, I've been divorced. I have 2 children. I used to do lots of drugs. Okay, we're going to do this thing?
Hey, you know what I always say to people when I talk to them, it's like, oh, Anja, I have this interview with, I don't know, CEO, very important, blah, 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 of a big company. And I was like, you know what? Let me tell you something. He wakes up in the morning, he goes, to brush his teeth, make a coffee, walk a dog, take a poop in the morning, whatever, read newspaper. He is a human being. And then he takes up the role that he is playing in this life. So he is nothing more than you. Nothing. You are completely on the same level. And then what I also say is look at your hand. We all can look at our hands, and our fingers. And it's look at your finger. Your fingerprint is completely different from my fingerprint. And you know why? Because you have unique skills, you have unique energetic imprint, and you have unique purpose to leave a unique imprint on this world.
Yes.
And this is it, when you start talking to people and to employers, to whatever, on this level, which is for me is now normal. For me, this is way of living, whatever I say, whatever I do, whatever, this is how I live. That's why my fucking life collapsed, but my whole life collapsed completely. I lost everything, seriously, everything. I had to borrow money at some point to buy a bed, after I lived in a super modern house with my son and my then partner, and everything. And, I was just talking yesterday. Yeah. So, I was so used to that luxury. I know that I deserve it. I'm going to have it one time again. But when I lost everything, I had to start from zero, from scratch, from very, very, very low point of my life, with no support whatsoever, no support, not emotional, not financial, whatever. So I know what a person is capable of.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yes, girl.
Yeah, man, preach it. Get it.
And it's not, and it's not only about, us women and because we are strong now, we found each other and we are sharing stories, but it's every single human being on this planet Earth is an energetic being with unlimited power to create, period.
Yes. And every single person on this planet has not gone through life unscathed. Yeah. That's part of why we're here. And that's
Bump it into shit.
The stories, sharing the stories of the moments, Anja, look at where you are. And you can be I was there. You are free spirit. I know, I remember trying to scrounge up change so that I could drive to pick up my daughter who I wasn't living with because my ex was a monster, and I had to scrounge up change so that I can get enough gas to get to Brooklyn and buy her a slice of pizza after school. Like, I was there. I had family. I had people that, where were they? I don't know. I had a partner that I was not working out with, but nobody was there being like, here, just take the money. Here, I've got your support. I've got your back. Not until, honestly, not until Dana and I reconnected did I feel what that feels like.
Well,
And
because this process, that we were going through, like spiritual awakening or whatever, I think it's meant for us, to be alone, because you have to get, like this, I don't know what, like lessons or whatever. You have to find the love to love yourself first.
Yes.
And then you can support others. Then you can share love. Then you can share light. And it's not always light and love. Not even. We wake up in the morning and it's like, oh my God, can I jump, out the window, whatever. I mean, there are still definitely, we are all in healing processes and stuff like that. But it's so much easier when we support each other, like from different side of the world, and we can support companies. And how I see companies, I don't see companies as, without companies, we're going to be lost or whatever. No, companies, are just like entities that basically, this is like living organism, because like it consists of individual energies, that are inside. So basically they have a goal, whatever that goal is, if it's like, ooh, I want to earn, I don't know, 1 million, whatever, do it, and find people who wants to earn, 1 million, and tell them that, do you want to earn 1 million? Okay, I'm going to work, not for you, but with you. Yeah.
Yes.
But the thing is, like, there's no transparency in communication. And how I see it, like from energetic point of view, I see when somebody says something, I see something else in the background. So I know that they're lying. So it's like, what's the point? Like, you are paying me, and then like, we're not going to be transparent. We're not going to get results. I'm not going to work with you. Yeah. I'm not. So I said no to so many clients, because all I want is to work with people who are authentic, who have integrity, and who wants to have an impact, like positive impact in the world. I don't care about 6 figures, 7 figures, 8 figures, if they don't have positive impact in the world. That's it. Or humanity, or whoever.
And that's just like Dana too. Like, Dana is, her work, her book, her all of her stuff that she does is only for people who are ready to do the work. Exactly. Otherwise you can't read it. You can't understand it. It doesn't make sense.
And that's okay. We're not convincing anyone. We're just showing it what's possible now. Choose it or not.
I learned that very harsh lesson when I first opened the gallery, that I was going to, be the savior and help everybody, and at my own peril. And the thing is we cannot assist anybody, and you touched on this earlier, until we assist ourselves, till we find the love for ourselves. And I have no problem with saying that I'm selfish. Of course I'm selfish. I have to be selfish.
You have to be.
Because if I want to be the wife that I am, and the mother that I am, and the friend that I am, and the business part that I am, and all the things that I am to other people, the only way I could do that is by being selfish, by being of the self. Yeah. And when I do that, then I can give to others. So I'm not trying to convince anybody. I've got fucking gold. I've got gold in the shit that I've written, in the workshops that I do, in the work that I do with Angela. I've got gold here. If you can recognize that gold, then great, let's do this. But if you can't recognize the gold, I can't try to convince you if I have to convince you it's gold, then you got bigger problems.
I know. It is so true. And just I want to kind of like start to wrap it up, but the idea that we take companies and stars and all of this stuff off their pedestals. Yep. Off their pedestals, and look at towns, look at civilizations, look at like wherever you are, like look at it as an opportunity for people to grow and be nurtured and whole. I want to help organizations become what I think that they can become, because all the people then flourish and everybody is happy. And then when one person feels satisfied, whole, like look at the three of us, all of us feel like perfectly content and aligned. And yes, there are the days where but Dana talks about the pendulum, right? My pendulum used to be like, oh, everything's amazing, everything sucks. And now it's like, I go like this, and even in my discontent, I wouldn't go back to where I was before, no one would know. And that radiates to my kids. And then they are feeling empowered. And then they go into the world, like picking up what mommy's putting down. And if we can just do that, if we can just help everybody feel content, happy, whole, I mean, that's like the goal, right? Then we're walking around in a utopia. And all this shit that's going down in the world, like Dana said, like a phoenix. Like a phoenix is going to rise. This beautiful, beautiful bird, this beautiful energy where everybody is looking out for each other instead of like going against each other. What was it? Collaboration over competition.
Collaboration over competition every day of the week.
I call it supertition, no competition, but support. Like,
mutual
support. But I would also add something, what's our greatest power? Like really our greatest power is perception, is how we perceive, like perspective, how we perceive stuff. Because I believe in this utopia or whatever. I believe in this world because I live in this world already.
Yeah.
This is my world, yes. And when people come to me, oh, Anja, it's so bad. Like, I cannot find a job. This market is so bad. Like, everybody, like, they're rejecting me. I was like, I don't see that, like nobody's looking for this profile. I know that they are looking for this profile, but your energetic level, like your frequency level is not aligned with them. So they cannot find you. You cannot find each other. Yeah. So, with people who are ready to talk on this level, then like we can really create miracles. But what I'm saying is like every single situation, every single person or whatever, it has different perspective. It doesn't have only one.
Yes.
So when you learn to see anything from different angles, from different perspective, from different perceptions, it's gold. That's gold. So how can you do that? By expanding your awareness. Because you see like, okay, you don't say, this is not possible. This is absolutely not possible. You just say, maybe that's possible. I don't see the solution yet, or I'm not really sure, what to think about it, but I leave it open. I leave my heart open. I leave my mind open for this to happen or this to be possible. So you are expanding your awareness, and it's completely different energy, completely different energetic field,
Yeah.
And about the focus, for example, just I'm gonna wrap this up, but just to finish with this one. For example, if we as three, or maybe we are similar, but for example, there are like 3 or 4 people walking down, I don't know, streets of New York, and one is an architect, and the other one is I don't know, meteorologist, and the other one is somebody who is like obsessed with trees or whatever, and they're all walking down the street. Where their focus will be, what will the architect look, and what will, for example, the meteorologist will be looking at the sky and the clouds. And if somebody like, for example, the architect would be like, oh, look, this is an amazing building. And he goes, I don't care about that. I'm looking at the clouds. And it's the same when companies, when somebody comes to somebody like, oh, I have this idea, so excited about it. And it's like they're trying to pass on the message, which is not relevant to them because it's out of their reality.
Yeah.
So when we start understanding that we all have different realities around ourselves, which are based on our perception, our way of thinking, our way of seeing the world, everything would be different. We would understand each other. We would respect each other. We would have more compassion for each other.
Yeah.
And I think that's my utopia. That's my beautiful world. And I'm helping to create it.
Yes, you are.
Thank you, Anja. Oh, you're awesome. You're awesome.
Oh, my goodness. Danny, you want to wrap us up with a nug, or you got anything, or yes?
No real nug other than to just nod in agreement to what Anja's saying. And she talks about the perception, and we talk about this all the time, Angela, that it's all just information. It's all just information. I mean, I say this ad nauseum. It's all just information. How we perceive that information is depending on what our filter is. And our filter is dependent on our level of awareness, our level of things that, and still need to come to light within us. And so when we, again, bringing it all full circle, when we recognize what our fears are, do our best to work through them, alleviate them to as much as we can, alleviate those fears and be able to come out into the world as the most authentic versions of ourselves. Like Anja has continued to say through this whole conversation, we can then meet each other. You know what, Anja, maybe you and I we are completely in alignment, but maybe we're not in alignment. But because we're honest about that, we can respect that and say, all right, you're cool, but we're not going to hang out. And that's what business is going to,
absolutely fine.
It's not an indictment if you're not right for my company. It's not an indictment on you. It's just saying there's another fit. But we're so fearful and insecure because of whatever our stuff is that we have not yet gotten to the point where we can do that. So just wrapping it up.
I like it. Okay. So if anybody who's watching wants to get in touch with Anja, with Dana, with myself, I'll put all the links wherever this thing is going to reside. Let's just make your culture amazing. Let's make everything amazing. Let's make you have a utopia in your business.
For a long time.
Speaking specifically to founders, specifically to those who have the courage to have taken that leap to go from the corporate world to do your own thing. It's your baby, you have a vision for your baby, and that gets lost when you're in the day-to-day. You're trying to track your KPIs and make your metrics and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it can take having a good conversation, like, with the three of us, get us into a room with you and let's talk about, is your company...
And your life will change.
Seriously, though. No, is your company...
Just to be clear, for the better.
Beware.
Okay. But is your company turning into what you want it to be? Are you working with an advisory board that is pushing you in a direction that's not comfortable? Because that can be shifted, and we can get you back on track and help you fall in love with your company again. It doesn't take a lot of effort. It just takes some openness and being able to put on new lenses and see things from a different perspective. And we can help you see that perspective and then shift it for you. So with that, Miss Anja, thank you so much for coming with us today on this journey from Slovenia.
It was my pleasure. Amazing afternoon party. So
thank you for inviting me. I've got my party after. So.
My ice cream melted, but I'm going to finish it now.
All right. Thank you so much, Anja. Oh, Anja. I will put the links in the comments, but in case people don't read them and stuff, tell people how they can find you. Tell the good people how to find you.
All right. They can all find me on LinkedIn. So it's Anja Žibert, and then the heart energy. You will see my profile pic frame. So I'm not very difficult to find. And there's a website, www.freespirit.hc. So Free Spirit Human Capital. It's my company, and it's a website. I'm gonna get probably in a week or something a new one. So, but the old one is still in process. But anyway, I'm so open, to discuss, how we met. I really, if anybody has any question or want to just start discovering what the hell are we doing, I'm so I would be really happy to share what I know, what I have, and it's because I really believe we can do this together, and there's absolutely no one that cannot change.
Yes.
Seriously. There's absolutely no one that cannot change. Everything can change. Everyone can change. It's all about this perception. And one more thing, whatever we will tell you, it's not that we are teaching you something new. You already have that in you. You already have that knowledge, that wisdom within you. We are just going to trigger that memory so you can, flourish. That's about the empowerment. So
I love your energy, Anja, so much. I love it. Anybody who works with you is just super lucky long time. So,
Okay.
all right, everybody. So with that, we're going to wrap this up, and thanks for watching, listening, and all that good stuff. And you know, I need like a sign off. You know what I mean? Oh, for the sake of humanity.
For the sake of humanity. Yeah. With some finger guns.
All right, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of Going Commando, Season 3, 10 Recommandments. We're so excited. Please subscribe to our channel so you too can become empowered. This episode is brought to you by Uniquely Phenom Collaboration. We provide tools and resources designed for creators by creators. Visit uniquelyphenom.com for more information.